Namaskar. Welcome to your daily current affairs revision for competitive exams. This content is based on verified news sources. I am going to cover 7 important topics in the next 8 minutes. Let us dive right in. What is the significance of the Double Taxation Avoidance Convention between India and France? The Government of India and the Government of the French Republic have signed a protocol amending the India-France Double Taxation Avoidance Convention. The amending protocol provides full taxing rights in respect of capital gains arising from the sale of shares of a company to the jurisdiction where such company is a resident. The amending protocol was signed by Mr. Ravi Agrawal, Chairperson, Central Board of Direct Taxes, Government of India, and Mr. Thierry Mathou, Ambassador of France to India, on behalf of their respective governments. This topic is relevant for the economy section of competitive exams, specifically for questions related to international taxation and economic cooperation between countries. Key takeaways: the amending protocol updates the India-France DTAC to the latest international standards. It provides full taxing rights in respect of capital gains arising from the sale of shares of a company. It modifies the taxation of income from dividends. What is the main objective of India's first-ever anti-terror policy, PRAHAR? The Union Ministry of Home Affairs has released the country's first-ever anti-terror policy, PRAHAR, which emphasizes that other than terror sponsored from across the border, criminal hackers and nation-states continue to target India through cyber attacks. The policy states that India faces terrorist threats on all 3 fronts, water, land, and air, and that capacities have been developed to protect critical sectors of the economy from both state and non-state actors. This topic is relevant for the security and defense section of competitive exams, specifically for questions related to national security and counterterrorism. Key takeaways: PRAHAR is India's first-ever anti-terror policy. It emphasizes the threat of cyber attacks by criminal hackers and nation-states. It aims to protect critical sectors of the economy from terrorist threats. What is the main objective of the National Monetization Pipeline 2.0? The Finance Minister, Nirmala Sitharaman, has launched the second phase of the Asset Monetization Pipeline of central ministries and public sector entities, which estimates an aggregate monetization potential of 16.72 lakh crore rupees. The National Monetization Pipeline 2.0 has been developed by Niti Aayog in consultation with infrastructure line ministries, based on the mandate for the Asset Monetization Plan 2025-30, as announced in the Union Budget 2025-26. This topic is relevant for the economy section of competitive exams, specifically for questions related to economic development and infrastructure. Key takeaways: the National Monetization Pipeline 2.0 estimates an aggregate monetization potential of 16.72 lakh crore rupees. It aims to unlock resources for reinvestment in new projects and capital expenditure. It will facilitate efficient mobilization of funds for capex in public assets. How is artificial intelligence being used in rural development in India? Artificial intelligence is emerging as a foundational driver of inclusive rural development in India, with a focus on fairness, accountability, transparency, and context-specific risk mitigation. The National Strategy for Artificial Intelligence, launched by Niti Aayog, identifies AI as a transformative tool to address India's development challenges by improving access, affordability, and quality of essential services. This topic is relevant for the economy section of competitive exams, specifically for questions related to rural development and technological advancements. Key takeaways: AI is being used to enhance transparency, efficiency, planning, and grassroots participation in rural development. The National Strategy for Artificial Intelligence aims to improve access, affordability, and quality of essential services. AI is being used to reduce linguistic and literacy barriers in rural areas. What is the current status of organ transplants in India? According to the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, the number of organ transplants in India has increased nearly fourfold over the past decade, from fewer than 5,000 in 2013 to almost 20,000 in 2025. The organ transplantation framework in India aims to improve the overall organ transplantation infrastructure and accessibility, and the primary legislation governing organ donation and transplantation provides the legal framework and regulatory mechanisms for all related activities. This topic is relevant for the Science and Technology section of competitive exams, specifically for questions related to medical advancements and healthcare. Key takeaways: the number of organ transplants in India has increased nearly fourfold over the past decade. The organ transplantation framework in India aims to improve infrastructure and accessibility. The primary legislation governing organ donation and transplantation provides the legal framework and regulatory mechanisms. What is the significance of the Supreme Court's sentencing guidelines? The Supreme Court has slammed the practice of enhancing compensation payable to the victim and reducing the sentence of convicts, and has laid down guidelines to be followed by courts while dealing with imposition of sentence. The Supreme Court has cautioned that the practice of enhancing compensation and reducing sentence is dangerous as it may send a wrong message to society that offenders can absolve themselves from liability by paying a monetary consideration. This topic is relevant for the polity section of competitive exams, specifically for questions related to the judiciary and legal framework. Key takeaways: the Supreme Court has slammed the practice of enhancing compensation and reducing sentence. The court has laid down guidelines for imposition of sentence. The practice of enhancing compensation and reducing sentence is dangerous and may send a wrong message to society. What is the current status of adolescent mental health in India? India faces a growing, largely neglected crisis in child and adolescent mental health, rooted in early vulnerability and worsened by an unregulated digital environment. Mental health challenges are no longer limited to adults or older teens, and clinicians increasingly see anxiety, depression, attention disorders, and behavioral issues in much younger children. This topic is relevant for the social issues section of competitive exams, specifically for questions related to healthcare and social welfare. Key takeaways: India faces a growing crisis in child and adolescent mental health. Mental health challenges are no longer limited to adults or older teens. The unregulated digital environment is worsening the crisis. That's all for today's current affairs. If you found this helpful, like and subscribe for daily updates. All the best for your preparation.